My name is Angel Lateral, and when it comes to practicing law, I resonate with the human spirit just as much as the judicial system. This isn't your typical business legal advice show, and I'm not your typical lawyer. As an attorney, I have over 16 years of legal experience in the areas of business law and estate planning. As a project manager, I love building and nurturing systems that work. And as a certified guide in the lineage of King Solomon, transformation consultant, and practicing Buddhist, I know this all starts with a healthy mindset. Welcome to the Laws of Abundance podcast. Legal advice from an angel. I'm your host, Angel Lateral. Masculine and feminine, the Hermetic principle of gender and how it relates to creation. I'm going to dive into something controversial here. The Hermetic principle of gender. The principle states, gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The Kybalion. This is controversial today because there is now an idea that the non-binary can exist. That in some things there is not masculine or feminine, but something else. But if we are to look at the energy of the universe, this cannot be true. There is in everything a binary blend of masculine and feminine, especially within the human being. My journey in life has in some ways been a procession of healing the divine feminine within myself, so I can proactively live my purpose without depleting my life force by using too much masculine energy. You might be like, what the hell are you talking about, Angel? Bear with me. Before I get clearer, I am going to get a little more confusing, so here goes. I'm going to tell you that gender has nothing to do with our sex as physical beings. Sex, or male-female anatomy, is a representation of the masculine or feminine within us, but gender itself derives from the Latin root meaning to procreate, to generate, to create, to produce. For us currently living in the human form on this planet, gender is the energy of how we live and create and manifest. So, masculine energy is active, the outward action-oriented style of creating. To be crude or blunt, masculine energy is the hammer hitting the nail. Masculine is external world creation, building bridges, building architecture, making sure the physical tasks of picking up the garbage on the curb, the army of nations is staffed, exploring new territories. These are all masculine forms of creation. The Norse culture of exploration, i.e. the Vikings, is an extremely masculine energy and something we still find in the North today. That rigid, sword-like quality that will protect and defend honorably its home. Think of every vengeance story out there. Man's wife murdered. What does he do? He goes out into the world and kills until the wound is righted. C.I.E. John Wick and many, many more. Feminine creation is passive, the inward style. 9 months of gestation inside the womb before a baby is born. Women are neither the hammer nor the nail. We are the wall that receives the action of both. Further, the container contains and germinates something new when it holds an image, a vision, a desire of something to come, and is acted upon with and in concert with masculine energy. Feminine energy is the container that holds the shape, the structure, the seed. So this is the womb and the egg, the seed within the fruit. This is why the apple is an extremely feminine symbol. Not just because Eve ate one in the garden to receive the knowledge of good and evil, i.e. the knowledge of the binary physical world, but that the apple is a fruit that holds within it a pentagram, a sacred geometric sign of human growth and potential, of a human being born into their highest self. But that's an entirely other podcast. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get to the point here. And I will risk sounding like I'm being slightly stereotypical because the archetypes that are masculine and feminine are that in some ways. Look at the tarot. The Emperor is Aries, is action. He built his empire by forming the stone throne he sits upon. Meanwhile, the Empress, she is Venus, love, abundant and fruitful. She grew the garden around her by birthing it from within the womb and the nourishment of Mother Earth. She did not act, she simply embodied. And by doing so, she created all the fruit and joy and abundance possible. So masculine acts, feminine creates. Masculine tends to creation. Femininity is within itself the creation of life. Masculine is active generation. Masculine cannot, without doing, make things. He must form things by putting them together with pieces from Mother Earth. Masculine must mold things with force using external means, i.e. hands, tools, active motion. Whereas feminine energy is love and nourishment, connection and inspiration. Suckling a child with milk that just magically comes into being from within in response to said child. Feminine is internal world and intuitive responses to care for the small and helpless. All right, why am I going here? Because I see a sick world around me. And I know because I was once sick as I was working out of balance to create. Trained from an early age to compete and produce as a young lawyer, I had chronic fatigue by the time I was 26 years old. And I was trying to force everything, and it resulted in burnout. Everything was go, 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 and I had no vision for my life. Just a fear-led drive for achievement. If I didn't become the person who earned money and created my reality by external means, I would fall into ruin. I also suffered from lack mentality and a sense of worthlessness because I believed I was only as good as those things I produced and the people I pleased. Energetically, I was attempting to mold myself into what others wanted and produce what they liked. I did not nourish myself, and I drank a lot of alcohol to fill the void that kept getting bigger every time things did not work out. My diagnosis of chronic fatigue came because they couldn't find anything wrong with me. But I was physically and emotionally off balance, and I was not in any way in touch with my divine feminine means of creation. I lacked any personal nourishment, but primarily I was running myself ragged by living completely out of my masculine and not using any of my feminine power. I was born into this world a woman. Yes, by physical sex. I have a womb, a vagina, and breasts. This body is meant to create babies. So thus, I'm meant to create my reality from within myself, running feminine energy. That is not active outward force. And running that way, active masculine, was killing me and interfered with my ability to be in any form of healthy relationship with a male or the masculine. Lack of self-love also greatly interfered with all of this. But again, that is another podcast for another date. Let us return to gender and creation. Most of us today, and when I say us, I mean women, are working under a masculine means of creation, and it is killing us slowly. This is no fault of our own, no fault of the patriarchy even. It is a result of there being a value placed on a certain way of being in the world. The career woman. Go out into the workforce and climb that ladder. I can have it all. Family, business, and fun. And it's true. Women can have it all. We are capable of running the world and doing everything a man can do and more. And this is amazing because women are amazing and worthy of praise as the goddesses we truly are. But energetically, if a woman lives from a majority masculine energy, she is not going to feel fully satisfied, fulfilled, or nourished because she is going to burn out, and this will result in complaint, tired, overwhelmed, angry, martyr, sick, and ultimately dead from disease and illness, or worse, heartbreak, and someday alcohol, addiction, or suicide. The reward for this is to be completely empty because you gave it all away and still did not succeed in creating a life you wanted. This is a very disappointing proposition that no amount of rosé all day is going to fulfill. I can speak for women only here because I am one, and this learning has been one part that is part of my life's work to embody. We are not taught how to run feminine energy because the feminine archetypes are ignored or diminished. The mother, the empress. These are replaced by CEO, go-getter, supermodel, warrior, king, hero. Rey in the newest Star Wars trilogy is a great example of misplaced masculine archetypal energy being put upon the feminine. We are shown a young woman becoming a mechanic, scavenger, pilot, and ultimately a fighting machine. She goes out into the world and builds things, acts on things, fights things. Yes, these are all things feminine/women can do. This is a fact. Yet these actions are not of the feminine archetypes and creation that teach us women how to run energy from a place of womanly power. It is just the opposite. Women are being shown to be more masculine in order to be successful. And I know this isn't popular to say, as many masculine role models and archetypes are being replaced by women. Doctor Who, James Bond, Luke Skywalker, Captain Marvel. We women actually need help here. Women need to heal and lean into the divine feminine archetype so we can learn how to create from the place of divine feminine energy. So what is this? What is this place of creation from divine feminine energy? I'm going to oversimplify so the concept can be heard. Divine feminine creation involves 1, having a desire for something that emerges from deep within ourselves. You can feel this desire all the way down, deep into your womb, and it may even make you wet thinking about it, just like desiring another sexually. Or it's just deep within your gut and center of intuitive knowing. 2, getting really clear on what that desire looks like, feels like, smells like, sounds like in your life. In other words, you get clear on the vision, the plan, the structure, what it is. You know exactly what it is you want to create. 3, then you hold that vision. You use all your energy focusing on that vision and continuing to desire it. And it then begins to gestate. And it may take some time. Think about how long it takes a baby to be born or a plant to mature and bear fruit from a seed. This is not an overnight process, but you keep holding the vision and don't give up desiring it. And finally, 4, then masculine energy will come to your aid and help make it happen. The things you need to mold, it will come to you, be offered to you, and actors will take the action needed to be taken to get her done. And you may have to take some action, but it will be 70% less than you did before when you were not open to receive the assistance of the masculine and instead were doing it all by yourself. Recently, my law office had this happen. I had a clear vision for a legal assistant, and the masculine came in the form of multiple individuals volunteering in the same day to take on the 2 roles that I needed. And I'm going through iteration 2 of this now in my law office as I try to manifest another attorney and client services representative to take on frontline sales and marketing and follow-up communication. I didn't learn overnight how to create and manifest from my feminine. In fact, I'm still learning, but the journey began through healing my feminine and beginning to love myself in this form. I was initiated into the lineage of King Solomon through the Modern Mystery School. I received life activation. I took Kabbalah. I leaned in and listened to the story of the Shekinah and how the world was created through the feminine's desire for masculine energy. I study feminine archetypes, the mother, the maiden, the mystic, the healer, the priestess, the huntress, Mother Gaia, the crone, the queen, the lover, goddess, warrior/shield maiden. And I honor and I worship them. I become every day a little more open to receive by actively attempting to embody my goddess family of Lakshmi, goddess of love and abundance. For me, the path was of esoteric and spiritual training to be able to shift and heal and relearn. As Yoda says, you must unlearn what you have learned. And this is so true. The programming to dismiss and in some cases actively reject the passive feminine is visceral within me. But what if I can embody love like a mother, or intuition like the high priestess, abundance like the empress? What if I can remain open to receive instead of closed off and forcing the square peg into the round hole. I was extremely lucky, or perhaps it was because of my desire I found what I was seeking, that I found a divine feminine law practice business model to follow. The new law business model is led by a woman, a mother. She created the model for women and mothers who are also lawyers, with a mission to heal and find a law practice through love focused on families and children. And wait for it, the training starts with learning how to hold a vision for your practice, your finances, your well-being. The education starts with mindset training, which, funny enough, was the part of the course I spent the most time doing. And it has helped me so much with the rest, because it all starts with the mind. That which we think makes its way into being. But the one mind in divine feminine includes us holding a true desire to want the thing to occur from the inner core of our being. Okay, so the moral of the story today: we must run energy from our binary divine blueprint energy to create the life we want to live. This is a challenge in today's world, as we do not have dominant archetypes for the divine feminine, and positive divine masculine archetypes are being replaced in the physical by women. As a result, best place to look for these archetypes for our healing is through ancient and esoteric mysteries, the tarot being the most readily accessible and obvious in its symbolism. But there are many more ways to heal. And if you are interested in exploring this further, I can help with that. I would love to talk to you more about how the tools within the thousands-year-old path of the lineage of King Solomon can help you with your daily life in creating a life you want to live every day that brings you vitality and joy.
Thank you for allowing me to help you prosper. If you like this podcast, please review and subscribe. You can find out more about me at laterallaw.com/Laws of Abundance podcast. I'm your host, Angel Lateral, and I can help with that.